The perfect storm. Maya Chun never believed in fairy tales until she met Daniel Morrison. As a cybersecurity expert working for the city's top consulting firm, Maya spent her days fighting digital criminals and protecting corporate secrets. She was tough, smart, and completely focused on her career. Love wasn't even on her radar. Everything changed on a rainy Thursday morning when Morrison Tech called her firm. Their servers had been attacked, and millions of dollars in research data was at risk. Maya arrived at the gleaming downtown tower, expecting another routine corporate hack. Instead, she found herself face to face with Daniel Morrison himself. Daniel was different from other wealthy CEOs Maya had worked with. While she traced the cyber attack through lines of code, he brought her coffee and asked genuine questions about her work. He didn't talk down to her or assume she needed things explained simply. When Maya discovered the attack came from inside the company, Daniel's reaction surprised her even more. "Find the truth," he told her firmly. "I don't care if it's uncomfortable or expensive. I need to know who betrayed our company and our employees." The investigation took 2 weeks. Maya worked closely with Daniel, often staying late into the night as they followed digital breadcrumbs through complex server logs. She discovered that someone with high-level access had been selling company secrets to competitors for months. The betrayer was Daniel's own cousin, Marcus Morrison. When Maya presented her findings, Daniel didn't hesitate. He thanked Maya for her thorough work, immediately fired Marcus, and pressed criminal charges. That evening, he asked Maya to dinner. "I owe you more than just payment for your services," Daniel said over Italian food at a small neighborhood restaurant. "You saved my company and showed me I can trust my instincts about people." Maya found herself drawn to Daniel's honesty and integrity. He was wealthy beyond imagination, but he drove a modest car and chose quiet restaurants over flashy venues. He listened when she talked about her work and shared stories about building his tech company from nothing. Their relationship grew naturally over 6 months of coffee dates, long walks, and quiet dinners. Daniel was kind, funny, and completely supportive of Maya's demanding career. He never tried to change her or make her feel like she needed to fit into his wealthy world. But there was one major obstacle: Victoria Morrison, Daniel's mother. From their first meeting at the family mansion, Victoria made her disapproval crystal clear. She looked at Maya like something unpleasant stuck to her expensive shoes. "So you're the computer girl," Victoria said coldly during their first dinner together. "How interesting that Daniel is spending time with someone so ordinary." Daniel immediately defended Maya, but Victoria's hostility never wavered. She made pointed comments about suitable matches for her son and the importance of marrying within their social circle. Maya endured it all because she loved Daniel and believed their love could overcome his mother's prejudice. Secrets in the code planning their wedding became Maya's part-time job. Between her regular cybersecurity work and wedding preparations, she barely had time to sleep. Daniel insisted on the best security for their ceremony, knowing that his wealth made them targets for unwanted attention. "I want you to handle all the digital security personally," Daniel told Maya. "Guest lists, vendor background checks, payment systems, everything. I trust your expertise completely." Maya threw herself into creating an impenetrable security system for their special day. She ran background checks on every vendor, secured all digital communications, and created encrypted guest databases. While reviewing Morrison Tech's charity foundation accounts to verify a large wedding donation, something caught her attention. The numbers didn't match. Maya's trained eye spotted irregularities in the foundation's financial records immediately. Small discrepancies at first, but as she dug deeper, a disturbing pattern emerged. Money meant for student scholarships was being redirected through a complex web of fake accounts and shell companies. Someone was stealing from underprivileged students. Maya worked through the night, following digital trails and cross-referencing bank records. The theft was sophisticated, requiring insider knowledge and high-level access to the Foundation's systems. Over 3 years, nearly $2 million had been systematically stolen from scholarship funds. Her forensic analysis revealed the shocking truth. All suspicious transactions were authorized by someone with administrative access to every Foundation account. Someone with the power to move large amounts without triggering automatic reviews. Someone like the Foundation's chairman, Victoria Morrison. Maya stared at her computer screen in disbelief. Daniel's mother, who publicly championed education for disadvantaged youth, was stealing their futures for personal gain. The evidence was undeniable. Bank records, digital signatures, authorization codes. Everything pointed directly to Victoria. Maya's hands shook as she printed the evidence. How could she tell the man she loved that his mother was a criminal? How could she destroy his family just weeks before their wedding? But then Maya thought about the students. Brilliant kids from poor families who had applied for Morrison Foundation scholarships, believing someone cared about their dreams. Kids who were told no funding was available, while Victoria Morrison bought jewelry and took luxury vacations with their stolen money. Maya couldn't stay silent. Justice mattered more than family comfort. The next morning, Maya spread the evidence across Daniel's kitchen table. Her heart broke as she watched his face change from confusion to horror to determination. Daniel studied every document, asked pointed questions, and verified Maya's analysis. "This is definitely my mother's work," he said quietly. "The authorization patterns match her usual Foundation activities, and only she has access to these specific accounts." Maya reached across the table and took his hand. "Daniel, I'm so sorry, but we have to report this. Those students deserved better." Daniel squeezed her hand firmly. "You're absolutely right. What she's done is unforgivable. We report this immediately after our wedding. I won't let one more day pass with her stealing from those kids." The confrontation. Maya and Daniel decided to confront Victoria before involving law enforcement. It felt like the right thing to do, giving her a chance to confess and return the stolen money before facing criminal charges. They arranged to meet her at Daniel's penthouse apartment 2 nights before the wedding. Victoria arrived expecting a pleasant pre-wedding family meeting. She wore an expensive designer dress and carried herself with the usual air of superior confidence. Maya watched her carefully, looking for any sign of guilt or awareness. "Darling," Victoria said, kissing Daniel's cheek, "I hope you're not getting cold feet about the wedding. Oh, it wouldn't be the worst thing if you reconsidered certain decisions." Daniel spread the financial documents across his coffee table. "Mom, we need to talk about the Morrison Foundation." Victoria's expression didn't change, but Maya caught the slight tightening around her eyes. Years of reading people's digital behavior had taught Maya to spot deception in real life too. "What about it, dear?" Victoria asked smoothly. "The Foundation is doing wonderful work helping deserving students." "That's interesting," Maya said quietly, "because according to these records, very few students received help, while large amounts of money went to personal accounts." Victoria finally looked directly at Maya, and her mask slipped for just a moment. Raw hatred flashed in her eyes before the polite smile returned. "I'm sure there's some misunderstanding," Victoria said. "Foundation finances can be complex. Perhaps someone without proper training might misinterpret the records." Daniel handed his mother a thick folder. "Mom, look at the evidence. Bank transfers, authorization codes, digital signatures. This isn't a misunderstanding. This is systematic theft." Victoria opened the folder and studied the documents with calculating eyes. Maya realized she wasn't surprised by the evidence. She was evaluating how much trouble she was in. "Well," Victoria said finally, "this is quite a situation." "You stole from students," Daniel said, his voice heavy with disappointment. Kids who trusted our family foundation to help them build better lives. How could you do this? Victoria's polite mask finally cracked completely. How could I do this? I built this family's reputation while you played with computers. I maintained our social standing while you dated beneath your station. I deserved compensation for everything I sacrificed for this family. Maya felt sick. You stole nearly $2 million from scholarship funds. Students went without help so you could buy luxury items. Victoria turned on Maya with vicious intensity. You little nobody. You think you can waltz into our family and judge me? You have no idea what it takes to maintain our position in society. It doesn't take stealing from students, Maya replied firmly. Victoria smiled coldly. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to destroy that evidence and forget everything you think you discovered. Then you're going to disappear from Daniel's life permanently. Absolutely not, Daniel said immediately. Victoria ignored him, focusing entirely on Maya. If you don't disappear, I'll destroy your career and your reputation. I have connections in every major corporation in this city. One phone call from me, and you'll never work in cybersecurity again. Is your precious justice worth losing everything you've worked for? Maya looked at this woman who had stolen from vulnerable students and felt something harden inside her chest. Yes, it is. Wedding day chaos. Maya barely slept the night before. Her wedding. Victoria's threats echoed in her mind, but her resolve never wavered. She and Daniel had agreed to proceed with the ceremony as planned, then immediately contact law enforcement afterward. They wanted one perfect day before the inevitable chaos. Maya's best friend, Sarah Kim, arrived early to help with final preparations. Sarah had been Maya's roommate in college and understood her better than anyone. She immediately noticed Maya's tension. You look beautiful, but you seem worried, Sarah said while adjusting Maya's veil. Pre-wedding jitters? Maya decided to confide in her best friend. She explained everything. Victoria's crimes, the stolen scholarship money, and the threats made against her career. Sarah listened with growing anger. That horrible woman, Sarah said. How dare she steal from students and then threaten you for exposing her crimes? I'm scared she'll follow through on her threats, Maya admitted. But I can't let those students down. They deserve justice. Sarah hugged Maya tightly. You're the bravest person I know. Daniel is lucky to marry someone with such strong principles. The wedding ceremony was beautiful. Maya wore a simple but elegant dress, and Daniel looked handsome in his tailored suit. 300 guests filled the elegant hotel ballroom, including family, friends, and business associates. Everything seemed perfect until the moment for objections arrived. If anyone has a reason why these two should not be married, speak now or forever hold your peace, the minister said. Victoria Morrison stood up slowly. Maya's heart sank as she realized Daniel's mother was about to create a scene. I object, Victoria announced in a clear, carrying voice. This marriage cannot proceed because the bride is a criminal who has been embezzling money from our family foundation. Gasps echoed through the ballroom. Maya felt 300 pairs of eyes staring at her in shock and confusion. Daniel stepped forward immediately. Mom, stop this right now, he said firmly, but Victoria continued her performance. I have evidence that Maya-chan has been stealing from the Morrison Foundation Scholarship Fund. She's a common thief who seduced my son to gain access to our family's money. Maya's cheeks burned with humiliation and rage. Victoria was accusing her of the exact crimes Victoria had committed. The crowd murmured with shock and confusion. That's a complete lie, Maya said, her voice carrying clearly through the silent ballroom. Victoria smiled triumphantly. I think this wedding needs to be postponed until a proper investigation can be conducted. Maya looked at the crowd of confused, whispering guests. She saw doubt in some faces curiosity in others. This was the moment Victoria had planned. Public humiliation designed to destroy Maya's reputation and force her out of Daniel's life. Maya had planned for this possibility too. She reached into her bouquet and pulled out a small device. A wireless transmitter connected to the ballroom sound system. With one click, she activated a presentation she had prepared as insurance against Victoria's threats. The ballroom screens suddenly displayed bank records, digital signatures, and financial evidence. Maya's voice echoed through the sound system as she narrated the evidence that proved Victoria Morrison's systematic theft from the scholarship fund. "Ladies and gentlemen," Maya announced, "you're looking at evidence that Victoria Morrison stole nearly $2 million from student scholarships over 3 years." Just as served, the ballroom erupted in chaos as Maya's evidence played on every screen. Bank transfers showing money flowing from scholarship accounts to Victoria's personal accounts. Digital signatures proving Victoria's authorization fraudulent. Transactions. Financial records documenting systematic theft from vulnerable students. Victoria's face went pale as her crimes were exposed to everyone who mattered in their social circle. Business partners, charity board members, and society. Figures all watched in stunned silence as the evidence mounted. "This is fabricated," Victoria shouted, but her voice lacked conviction. The evidence was too detailed, too comprehensive to dismiss. Daniel stepped forward and took Maya's hand. "Ladies and gentlemen, my future wife discovered these crimes while doing security work for our foundation. Instead of staying silent, she chose to protect the students who depend on our scholarships." Maya continued her presentation, explaining how Victoria had created shell companies and fake accounts to hide the stolen money. She showed how scholarship applications had been rejected while funds were available, how deserving students were denied opportunities so Victoria could fund her luxury lifestyle. "The evidence has been provided to federal investigators," Maya announced. "Justice will be served for every student who is denied help because of this theft." Sarah Kim had quietly called law enforcement during Maya's presentation. FBI agents entered the ballroom just as Victoria tried to leave through a side exit. The arrest happened in front of everyone who had witnessed Victoria's attempted character assassination. "Victoria Morrison, you're under arrest for wire fraud, embezzlement, and conspiracy," the lead agent announced. "You have the right to remain silent." As Victoria was led away in handcuffs, she glared at Maya with pure hatred. "You've destroyed our family," she hissed. "No," Maya replied firmly. "You destroyed your family when you stole from students. I just made sure you faced consequences." Daniel addressed their wedding guests with quiet dignity. "My mother's actions don't represent our family's values or my commitment to Maya. If you'll allow us, we'd like to continue with our ceremony and start our marriage by doing what's right." The minister, clearly shaken but impressed by Maya's courage, asked if they wanted to proceed. Daniel and Maya looked into each other's eyes and nodded. "Do you, Daniel Morrison, take Maya Chun to be your wife, promising to support her integrity and courage for the rest of your life?" "I do," Daniel sighed, squeezing Maya's hands. "I'm proud to marry someone who chooses justice over comfort." "Do you, Maya Chun, take Daniel Morrison to be your husband, promising to stand together through whatever challenges come your way?" "I do," Maya said, her voice strong and clear. "I choose love and truth always." As they kissed, the ballroom erupted in applause. Maya had turned her wedding into a victory for justice, and everyone present had witnessed something extraordinary. Within 6 months, Victoria Morrison was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. The stolen money was recovered and used to fund scholarships for twice as many students as originally planned. Maya and Daniel established additional security measures for all their charitable foundations. Maya's cybersecurity firm received national attention for her courage in exposing financial crimes. Instead of destroying her career, Victoria's threats had made Maya a hero in the business community. Daniel and Maya honeymooned in Japan, far from the media attention and legal proceedings. They spent quiet days exploring temples and gardens, talking about their future and the family they wanted to build based on honesty and justice. "I love you for many reasons," Daniel told Maya as they watched the sunset from their hotel balcony. "But mostly because you showed me what real integrity looks like." Maya smiled and leaned into her husband's arms. Sometimes doing the right thing is hard, but it's always worth it. Their love story became legendary in their city. The cybersecurity expert who exposed corruption at her own wedding and married the man who supported her courage. Maya and Daniel built a life together based on trust, justice, and the knowledge that love means standing together for what's right, no matter the cost.